Yo, what's up? It's me. I play a samurai cat in the new animated theatrical film, Paws of Fury. Meow!
I never want to see that ever again.
Why do we need a contract?
Because at this moment it would be so nice if I weren't here.
Do you think Samuel L. Jackson was talking about the movie here? Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, is a fake film. I swear it is. It's a glitch in the Matrix. I think this movie has somehow slipped through our shallow depth of the space-time continuum. You may be asking me right now, who cares? It looks like a standard BS bargain bin slop you'd find in the late 2000s at a supermarket. Or some show that would only get like one season on Nickelodeon. I mean, even look at the animation. Sure, it's not Little Panda Fighter level, but it looks cheap enough. But no, you are very wrong, viewer. This movie will surprise you. I was going to work on my next comparison video straight away, but this film shocked me so much that I just had to make a video on it. For the record, this movie has a budget of $45 million. No, your ears don't need cleaning out. $45 million. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. This isn't a food fight situation again, is it? I really hope it isn't, because that movie was absolute torture. Well, we may as well try and decipher what this quote-unquote movie is even about. Let's get into it. Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank had actually a very different vision back in the original development. Development for this movie goes all the way back to 2010. But you may be asking, but this movie looks like it was released in 2010. Oh god, it's food fight all over again, isn't it? Oh god, no, please. So yeah, started development in 2010 and it wasn't released until 2022. It was in development for 12 years. 12 years! Holy shit! This movie was put through development how? As a kid, I remember seeing the teaser poster for this movie and thinking, that looks interesting. I still vividly remember the poster to this day, but as the years went by, I concluded that it must have been a cancelled movie. Little did I know that the film actually came out a few years ago. Okay, but what is actually the deal with this film? The thing is, the original title for the film was Blazing Samurai, and was meant to be a remake of the 1974 comedy Blazing Saddles by Mel Brooks. And for you young whippersnappers, Mel Brooks is an incredibly famous comedian slash filmmaker slash actor, and has had an extremely successful beloved career. The guy's still alive, with his career spanning 7 decades. You guys know him as Big Weld. I'm telling you guys this because, you guessed it, he wrote this movie. Wow, him and 6 other people. Oh god, you couldn't make up this shit even if you tried. At some point though, Sony Pictures Animation were like, nah, we don't want any part of this shit, and left entirely. This was probably because they knew this was created on bad intentions. The film was made due to the then recent trend of westernizing Asian films, which, you know what that means, right? They watched Kung Fu Panda, saw that it made bank at the box office, and wanted a cut of that. They literally called it a trend too. They simply just wanted money, and they weren't even trying to hide that fact. But oh wait, it gets crazier. You want to know the cast for this movie? We have Michael Cera, Mel Brooks, well, to be fair, that's a given, Ricky Gervais, Jaimin Hensu, Michelle Yeoh, Samuel L. Jackson, and there's even Mr. Aziz in this movie. That is an insanely stacked cast, especially considering how low the budget is for a film like this. Oh god, I just can't believe it. I bet if you saw the poster for this film, you would bet your entire life savings that there wouldn't be one recognisable star in this whole production. I guess that's the power of Mel Brooks though. Partly why the film already looks dated, and also why it took so long to come out, is because the animation company shut down midway through production. The production took that long that a company straight up died during it. Thankfully for us though, another company picked up the slack and eventually finished the movie. So the film gets a little marketing push, comes out, makes surprisingly some money, but still not enough to even make its budget back. And that was it. Or so you would think, right? It gets crazier. There was a video game that was literally released just for this film, and it was also in development how? And as you would expect, and I am being serious here, I genuinely don't believe a single person has actually bought it. Look, it's all paid reviews. Look, if you want a good investment, buy this game because it's going to be super rare one day. But yeah, it seems like this movie was originally meant to be a cash grab for sure, but it was also meant to be a heavy parody on Blazing Saddles. But over time, this shit got watered down to the point where it appealed to absolutely no one. Because if you like Kung Fu Panda or Blazing Saddles, you're just going to watch one of those movies, aren't you? It's just really stupid. I could go on and on about how insane this movie is on paper, but I'll just leave you with this. Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank was directed by the guy who did The Lion King. Is this movie good though? Is it worth your time? Is it ironically bad? Hopefully. I just want to feel something, you know. Before we get to the meat and potatoes, I can tell you at least partly why this movie failed. It's such a glaring issue. It's not rocket science. It's the name. Whoever did the marketing for this movie needs to be fired. Blazing Samurai is a short and sweet title. It's straight to the point, tells you that it's a martial arts remake of the original, all in only 2 words. But then we have this abomination. I keep forgetting the damn name every time I have to bring it up. There's 2 movie titles in here. Just call it Paws of Fury for God's sake. That's an appropriate title at least, and it's more snappy than Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, isn't it? Because long convoluted movie titles have always done well at the cinema. The movie also starts off with about 1 million production companies too, which is always a sign of good quality. The movie even makes fun of this fact. The intro itself sort of reminds me of Kung Fu Panda's intro, as it's more stylised than the rest of the film. And yeah, you can tell that it was obviously influenced by Kung Fu Panda. Anyway, the story is that Ricky Gervais plays a Somali cat who is a landlord, and this cat wants to get rid of the village of Kakamucho in order to expand his palace. It's up to Hank, a beagle played by Michael Cera, to save the day. Ricky Gervais' cat hires Michael Cera to purposely sabotage the village, as he believes a dog wouldn't be able to save it. So yeah, tired story, sounds very predictable with cliche upon cliche, etc. But if it's executed well, or at least is funny, who cares, right? Well, let's just go through how this movie handles its absolutely stacked cast. Ricky Gervais, for one, is given absolutely nothing funny to say, and his voice doesn't even fit his character. So yeah, complete miscast. In fact, most of these characters don't match the vibe or aura they give off. Apart from Michael Cera Dog, I guess. Complete lack of understanding for basic character design. And I think it's because the direction of the movie is poor. It's almost like the actors don't understand the tone/vibe of the movie. And you couldn't say that about The Lion King, could you? Michelle Yeoh is also incredibly one note in this movie. You have her and the other actors trying to say comedic lines, but it's mostly just very off. They are giving nothing to their performances. It's just very weird. Jaimin Hensu is an evil sumo wrestler that just grunts. And that's it. He has like 2 lines for the whole film. Great use of his talent, guys. Mel Brooks plays the shogun of Kakamucho, and he's trying a little bit more than the rest, to be fair. Fair play to him. It pretty much is his vision. Well, that and 1 million other companies and writers. And yeah, we can't forget Samuel L. Jackson, of course, who plays the mentor type character as a sensei for Michael Cera Dog. And he is trying a tad bit more, probably because Sam Jackson is naturally really talented. But you can still tell he's phoning it in for a paycheck.
What the mother father cocker spaniel's going on here?
Get it? Cause he's Samuel L. Jackson. That's the thing he says. Alright, let's talk about the jokes now. This movie thinks it's so much funnier than it actually is. There are so many meta jokes, stating the obvious, breaking the fourth wall, speaking to the camera, just a lot of spoof humour in general, to be honest. And it would be okay, but not without the right direction. All the playing on words and saying the most predictable jokes in the world gets really tiring. The movie itself is even self-aware of how tired the story is, as it does acknowledge the fact.
This is traditionally the place in a movie where the hero meets his big opportunity.
That doesn't excuse it or make it automatically funny, does it? We also have classics like poop jokes, cock jokes, Twitter jokes. Like, is this the Emoji Movie or something? Because this is how low we're getting, guys. I'll give this movie something though. It does throw so many jokes at you. And I'm being honest here, the odd expression does work, and stuff like the samurai sweating is funny, and a few of the slapstick and visual humour did make me smile. But it's just bogged down by so many other unfunny jokes. It's just sickening.
I can dig it.
And it can't be a modern animated film without references to modern hip slang in this martial arts movie. You can thank the success of Shrek and Simpsons for this. At least Kung Fu Panda wasn't just Shrek again. At one point they even referenced the original title. That is very weird. Seriously, what's going on? But guys, this movie is deeper than you think. It tackles real life issues that we face in this world. Because this movie talks about the themes of racism in a comedic way. Real sentence I typed up for this movie review, by the way. And it's true, because in this film, you guessed it, dogs have suffered systematic abuse from cats, and prejudice has not gone away. They use dog like it's a racial slur, and when Hank first comes into town to save it, it's a literal remake of the scene in Blazing Saddles, you know, where the whole town hates the mayor because he's black. I could not quite believe what I was bloody seeing. Sadly, I think the movie is just too fast paced. Things just sort of happen, the dog is suddenly in the picture, characters just pop up from nowhere. There's too many jokes, there's too many subplots, too much stuff where nothing matters. And I think it comes down to poor performances, tired tropes, and mainly just poor direction. Because the film is so unserious that none of the stakes matter. This is not like Kung Fu Panda in the slightest. It is just sickening the amount of animated movies this film copies. You see, the town hates Hank at first for him being a dog, but they warm up to him eventually. There is also this little cat girl who is smarter than most of the town will admit. Well, this is just Rango, isn't it? It is just every single animated film ever made. Shrek 2 as well while we're at it. SpongeBob movie as well? Anyone? So you mix all this in with the tired hero's journey subplots, obvious second act low points, which is so yawn inducing. So yeah, you can tell why this film falls really flat. To be fair though, there is the odd shift in animation and it does work quite well. It's at least interesting, it doesn't work amazingly, but it's better directed and there's a lot more interesting shots / perspectives. But as you could guess, it is short-lived. Look at it though, it's leagues and bounds ahead of everything else. It looks like a comic book. Really cool stuff considering its budget. I wish I was watching this movie instead. They have a single needle drop in this movie, because you know it has to be like Shrek. And it's Gangnam Style. What? They jumped on the trend 10 years too late. I think this pretty much says everything that needs to be said about this movie. So yeah, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank is a fake film. Horribly directed, looks terrible, incredibly derivative, and just has a lot of the worst aspects of these quote-unquote kids movies. Don't be fooled by the cast, guys. You may get a laugh from this, but it's not worth sitting through. I would say that I want my brain to be neuralized from the memory of this movie, but I'll probably just forget about it by next week. What are we discussing again?
It's junk. First class junk.